Hi. It has very obviously been a minute. I don't even know where to begin. I have no clue what this video is going to turn into, but I've been away for about a month on YouTube, which hurts my heart. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to do a little update, maybe take you guys through the next couple of days, depending on what I feel like I can show, because I've been gone. But hopefully you follow me on other social media channels and you know why. But let's talk about it, because YouTube Shorts doesn't allow you to upload a video longer than a minute. They need to fix that. But anyway, so the last video that you guys saw, I was going on a trip to Lake Anna, Virginia with my college friends. I was so excited, and we went there. And on day 2 of the trip, I was wakeboarding. It was my first time wakeboarding that trip, but I have been wakeboarding for like 20 years. I grew up on the Rappahannock River, which is in Virginia. It's a really large river. You could imagine it like a lake. And I was blessed enough to grow up with a family who had a boat, and we had a jet ski. And so I grew up skiing and wakeboarding, just like doing a bunch of water sports. So anyway, this is nothing that was new to me, but the first day of the trip, not everybody was there, but we got there and did a little bit of wake surfing. And then the second day, I was the last person going, and I think, or maybe like the second to last, and was wakeboarding, and I literally just did the smallest trick, a 180. So basically I was riding with my right foot forward, which is my normal, and I was gonna bring my left foot forward. So like this motion of bringing your left foot forward, little trick, nothing crazy. And when I did that motion, something happened. Like, all I can really account for is like, I felt something was wrong. Like, I knew something was wrong with my leg when I did that, and I let go. I didn't fall hard or anything. I just kind of like sat down in the water, and after like the waves have gone by, I look down and I see my leg, and it looks like my leg is dislocated. So my quad and my patella look fine, but at the bottom there's like a bony prominence basically on the lateral portion of my leg. And my thought immediately goes to, okay, I've dislocated my tibia, I don't know, my femur. I was even thinking like maybe I dislocated my patella. I'm not even sure. At the moment, I wouldn't even necessarily say that it hurt. I was just like, it just felt so weird. Like, it felt like something was very, very obviously wrong with my leg. So my friends come over in the boat. I'm like, something's wrong. I dislocated my leg. And thank the good Lord Jesus, all of my friends are in the medical field. One of my friends is an ER physician, another one's in CRNA school, another one's an ICU nurse, and then everybody else there is amazing, and my husband was there as well. So they jumped right into action. I stayed in the water, they got my board off of me, and then they transferred me from the water onto the wake surfing board, and then the wake surfing board onto the back of the boat. And we were like, are we gonna like call 911? We're in the middle of nowhere, essentially. If you're familiar with like that area, there's like nothing there. So you're like, you know what, I think it's gonna be easier if we look up like the closest ER location that does like orthopedics and go there. So let me throw this in there. My ER physician friend, she's in residency, she's amazing, she's actually the smartest person I know. She agreed. She was like, it looks like the tibia is dislocated, and for right now I have a really great, like I had a great pedal pulse, but she was like, the faster we can get it back into place, the better. So she tried to reduce it, you guys. Now, I can't remember if I went into shock before she tried to reduce it or afterwards. And that was actually the scariest part. Like, that pain was, I can't even like talk about it without like feeling queasy and feeling nauseous, because it's literally like the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. Like, her actually trying to reduce it obviously didn't work, and I'll get more to that in a second, but I feel like afterwards I went into shock, and that was the scariest thing, because I've never really gone into like shock like that before. I started like quivering, like shaking, and then my hands started coming up into this like decorticate position, and my fingers started curling in. and I couldn't get it to stop. It was so scary. Like, that was one of the scariest parts of it, is like feeling like I didn't have control of my body, because I think I was so scared about what was gonna happen. But my husband was on one side and one of my best friends was on the other side, and they were like peeling my fingers off and massaging them and, you know, telling me everything's gonna be okay, whatever. And I eventually came out of that. But anyway, we went to the ER. So painful, the drive to the ER on these windy back road Virginia roads. And anyway, got to the ER. They did an x-ray without giving me any type of pain medication, you guys. And that sounds like easy peasy, but at that point in time, my leg, like, I couldn't move my leg, and without feeling tremendous pain. I mean, I'm sure I could move it, but like, I would have screamed in pain. But the ER was just like a very small ER. So they basically, we called ahead, told them that we were coming, which was very nice that they were able to accommodate me. They got us back into basically like ER holding right away, and the ER technician came back and had to manipulate my leg in certain positions to get an x-ray without any pain medication, which was pretty terrible. And then the PA, who was really, really amazing, came in and was like, you have a tibial plateau fracture, and we're gonna consult the orthopedic surgeon. So I didn't even know what the heck that was. Like, I don't like ortho, you guys know that. I'm not well acquainted in the orthopedic world. I'm like, a tibial plateau fracture? And that's never even crossed my mind as to something that could have happened. But anyway, she ended up consulting him, and he was like, put her in an immobilizer, have her follow up in my office. Just so happens we're in Virginia and I live in Tampa, Florida. So now I got some pain medications, got some nausea medicine, everything was fine. I felt better. In the immobilizer, I felt more stable because my leg was just kind of like flailed out on the bed at that point in time, and like any little movement was like the worst pain in the entire world. But anyway, my husband and I had to decide between whether or not we were going to go home or we were going to stay there, because I didn't know, like, what does this process look like? Do I go to the outpatient office and see him and he puts me in surgery the next day, or do I wait for a week or two for surgery? You know, I don't know. I obviously know it's not emergent, otherwise they would have done it in the ER. Anyway, we made the decision to come home because I was able to get in contact through my boss, a trauma orthopedic surgeon, which apparently for this type of fracture, you need a trauma ortho surgeon. Not even something I like. This has been so eye-opening to me as how people who don't know a lot about the healthcare system maneuver the healthcare system. It is so difficult, because this was something I really didn't know anything about, and I'm like, I don't know how to navigate this. But anyway, I got in with an amazing trauma orthopedic surgeon here in a week. We came home on Sunday. Yeah, I think we drove home on Sunday. The break happened on Friday. We took all of Saturday to kind of make our decision because it was a weekend, nothing was happening. We canceled our flights and we drove 12 hours home. My sweet, sweet, sweet angel of a husband and all of those people, all of my friends and family, they're family to me. They're not actually blood family, but made me so comfortable, and really helped take care of me. They rented a wheelchair. And anyway, we got home Sunday night and I saw the orthopedic surgeon on Tuesday. I want to say I had a CT scan on Monday, and I could be a little bit wrong in these dates, but no, I had a CT scan on Tuesday. I saw the orthopedic surgeon on Wednesday, and then was scheduled for surgery the following Tuesday. So I was in an immobilizer for 10 days waiting for surgery. So on the 23rd, I had a left open reduction internal fixation to my tibial plateau. I have one plate and I think like 6 to 8 screws. It's really hard to tell from the x-ray. I feel like I see 7 screws, but it doesn't really matter. There's a lot of screws in there. And when he was in there, he had mentioned that my tibia bone was really, really weak. And I'm not sure how much I've shared about this on YouTube before. I don't know how much I'm going to like continue to openly talk about this, just because I'm like still navigating the process. But over the summer, I lost my menstrual cycle and I did get it back, which was amazing, but I was in a pretty heavy calorie deficit, whether I have a history of ED and whether I didn't feel like I was actively in ED, but I I was. So I was able to get my menstrual cycle back, but as a result of that, I think I have low bone density. So anyway, today is Wednesday, October 15th. This has been the hardest thing. Like, this has been hands down, I can't say the hardest thing, one of the hardest things I've ever had to navigate. But as of today, I am 3 weeks and 1 day post-op. I started physical therapy yesterday, and I am non-weight bearing for 12 weeks. 12 weeks. I cannot walk for 12 weeks. I have lost 100% of my quad muscle in my left leg, not my right leg. And I'm walking on crutches, and things could be way worse. So I try to look on the bright side, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that it sucks. You know, there's so much to be grateful for, but it still sucks. So it is what it is, but I'm feeling better every day. The first couple of weeks were really difficult. I barely slept because I sleep on my stomach naturally. I haven't been able to sleep comfortably. Like, I've had to sleep on my back for the past 5 weeks. So that's uncomfortable. I'm small, so I have, my butt bone hurts like sitting down too much, and I'm having to navigate this mentally as well as physically, because a mental aspect of it is the fact that I probably did this to myself because of being in an active ED and not really recognizing it. So anyway, I am currently in, I guess you would say, recovery. Doing better as far as like my ED, and I started physical therapy yesterday, which feels like we're getting somewhere. And I also went back to work on Monday. I'm injecting sitting down, and I'm injecting, well, I stand up too, but like not on my leg. Like, I can balance on one leg, but I have a chair tall enough where like I can sit down if I want to inject, but I prefer to inject standing up, and the chair's right there so I can hang on to it if I feel like I need it. But I went back to work on Monday, which was so nice because I've literally been sitting in my house for 3 weeks, 4 weeks actually. And that is a recipe for depression. So I'm feeling much better, which is why I'm picking up the camera and I'm starting to film, because 1, I miss you guys, but 2, I feel like this is gonna help me have a little bit more of an outlet until I can walk again. So I thought for this afternoon, it's about 2 o'clock, I have 6 physical therapy exercises to do. I do them 3 times a day. So I do them in the morning after I wake up, and then around lunchtime, and then in the evening. So some of them, honestly, all of them, if you're looking at them, are gonna seem like the easiest thing in the world, but to somebody who just had surgery and has metal in her bones, they're really difficult, which is so silly. But I thought we could do my physical therapy exercises today. I have my dietitian appointment at 4 o'clock, and then I thought we would run out. I try to get out of the house once a day. Thank God it's my left leg and not my right leg, so I can drive. And I just started driving last week because it's really hard for me to keep my leg dependent for too long, because I don't have, like, when you're not walking, you're not having proper circulation in your legs. So I wear TED hose all the time, but it still just hurts a little bit for it to be down constantly. So anyway, I have my dietitian appointment, and then I don't know what else we'll get into. I'm getting around really, really well for having to walk with crutches, but that doesn't negate the fact that I have to walk with crutches, and everything is so much harder when you can't use your hands. So I don't know, that's where I've been, and we'll see how much I share. My work schedule is very, very condensed. So I went back to work on Monday for 4 hours, and I'm just doing Botox and lasers right now because they're very easy to do while sitting down, and I feel like that's probably how I'm gonna keep it until I can start walking again. But it's not just like I'm gonna start walking again one day in December. It's like I'm gonna have to learn how to walk again, which is really hard to think about, just because, like I said, I have no quad strength anymore, and I'm really limited on like the stuff that I can do, and my surgeon like won't even let me be partial weight bearing. Like, it's completely non-weight bearing for 12 weeks, which I totally respect his decision, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't suck. So anyway, I have like good days and bad days, and sometimes like talking about it too much makes me like overly sad, but I don't want to like dwell on it. Let's do some physical therapy exercises, and I'll kind of bring you guys through like the next couple of days. Hopefully I work tomorrow, but I'm working in the evening tomorrow, and then I'm also working Friday. So right now I'm just working Monday, Thursday, Friday for like 4 hours a day, and my job has been the most amazing people in the entire world. My boss is who set me up with my orthopedic surgeon, who literally texted his wife and like got me in. And they've just been so understanding, and I'm so grateful for the people in my life, because this would be so difficult if they weren't here. But that doesn't mean it's not hard, but I'm still like, I still do have a very grateful heart. So I'm gonna shut up because I've been talking for like 15 minutes now. So let's do our physical therapy exercises. While I do my PT, I like to have on like a little song or like a little YouTube, because there's 6 exercises, but it literally takes me like 30 minutes to do, because there's a lot of reps, so, which is good. I'm not complaining. Like, I'm so happy to be doing physical therapy. So let's get to it. Okay, the first exercise we're gonna do is my seated knee extensions. I do 2 sets, 10 reps each, and this is actually pretty easy for me to do. Flexion is what is really difficult for me right now, but so we're gonna start with some easier stuff and we'll kind of work our way up. I feel like you can kind of tell when you look at my knee, like obviously you can tell, okay, this is my regular knee, this is my hurt knee. It's not super graphic. I won't like go into detail, but obviously like you can tell the swelling and stuff, and then the incision goes like down here, and then I have an incision on this side as well, so it's a little bit bruised still, but it's doing better. The next exercise is heel slides. So that's literally when I take this band and kind of like pull myself back to 90 degrees. I'm restricted to only 90 degrees right now because I also had a meniscus repair. But hopefully in like a couple weeks I can go past 90 degrees. I was 83 degrees flexion and maybe like almost 0 extension yesterday at PT. So I need to get to 90 degrees and 0 degrees, 90 degrees flexion and 0 degrees extension by my appointment next Tuesday. Okay, these next ones, I'm gonna be so honest, like kind of suck. So next one that I'm doing, sometimes I do this on the chair, but I'm actually gonna try it sitting on my little bench, but it's a supine heel slide with a strap, and the goal is again for me to get to 90-degree flexion and do 15 reps and hold each rep for 10 seconds. I'm definitely getting better, but I basically take this and put it underneath my heel. Sorry, it's like really hard for me to show you guys all of this, and it's not like you need it because this is not physical therapy advice. This is literally what my physical therapist recommended. So anyway, so then I take this and I pull my knee up passively to what I feel like looks like 90 degrees. It's hard for me to talk. And I do 10 seconds. One, 2. I'm a little behind on eating lunch right now with my dietitian. I have like times to eat. So I think I'm supposed to eat lunch at like 2 and it's almost 3. And that's just because I was like showering and doing my physical therapy stuff. But this is a chicken pot pie. It's a vegan chicken pot pie that I made. I'm not gonna link the recipe because every time I make this recipe it turns out too runny, so I kind of need a good recipe. So let me know if you guys have one. But I'm just gonna heat this up in the microwave and eat this. I'm really hungry. I almost contemplated not doing this little Starbucks run just because I'm a little bit close to my dietitian appointment. Literally, there's a Starbucks probably 5 minutes from my house though. But I was like, maybe I should prepare for my dietitian appointment. And by prepare, I mean, like, I'll like write down things that I have like thought of or that have come up, because we meet weekly. So things that have just come up in the week in regards to eating and how I'm feeling with food. Right now we're focusing on, like I said earlier, eating at certain, like, I eat probably like every 2 to 3 hours. And then before I eat, I do like a mental check-in basically on this like intuitive eating scale that is like how hungry you are, how full you are, and like how satisfied you are from your meal. And that's because when you are really restricted with eating for a longer period of time, a lot of time you lose those hunger cues that everybody else has. Like, do you feel hungry? Do you feel full? Like those types of things. So, oh my God, I literally see a kid in my neighborhood who's on crutches, bless him. He's in a boot though, so he's weight bearing, but I feel him. So anyway, that's what we are like currently working on. And so sometimes I need to prepare just to like get myself together. And she also has me reading this book called Intuitive Eating, and it's like Intuitive Eating, the 4th edition. It's actually free on Kindle Unlimited, but I haven't made too much progress in that this week, honestly, just because the book, it's a good book. It's just heavy. It's like, I'm like not in my reading era. I have read one book in the last like 3 months, and I have so much time right now. You would think I would be like reading constantly. We're back from Starbucks. I got a matcha with almond milk, no classic. And then added the pumpkin cream cold foam. It's really okay. It's like very mid, but I'm icing my knee. I'm putting heat on my ankle. Just a fun fact, your knee controls a lot of your ankle movement. So my ankle gets super sore from just like hanging there all day. So I like to put a heat pack on it, especially if I'm going to be in the same position for like an hour. And then I'm just waiting for my appointment with my dietitian. I feel like it took me like to get back and get on here quickly, and hopefully my computer doesn't die while we're doing this. I don't think it will, but yeah, that's the update. That's where we are. Just finished my dietitian appointment. It is 5 o'clock, and sometimes it depends on the week. Sometimes I feel like it's super helpful, and other times I'm like, I don't really know like what I'm doing here. And that's not anything to do with like my dietitian. I think it's just because, what is it? Because I think I'm not a quick fix person. I am the type of person where I'm like, give me the steps to correct something, give me the steps to make it right, and I'll do it. But a lot of times seeing a dietitian, seeing a therapist is intuitive, right? Like, it's talking about your feelings and how you feel about the food that you're eating, and reworking like a lot of your mental or like your thinking process when it comes to food. And so a lot of times I feel like the sessions they're led by like what I want to discuss, and like I'm like, I don't know what I want to discuss. Can you just give me the steps to like I don't know. And I don't even know what the steps are that I'm asking for, because it really does have to be like a mental reframe. Like, it has to be reframing my thoughts around food. But anyway, I also don't want this to be triggering to anybody, but I also feel like as a society, we have to take accountability for the things that trigger us. Like, so if this is something that bothers you, I will put like a timestamp for when I'm done talking about it. But this is like honestly a part of my journey. So it's going to be something that is pretty frequently talked about on my channel, because I'm not gonna like be like in recovery and not talk about it, I guess. I mean, because like this, I feel like this could help somebody more than it could hurt somebody. Anyway, a whole separate tangent, but what we really discussed today was like my goals for this upcoming week, which is always what we try to do. And my goals for this week are basically, she's going to send it to me, but it's like a mental reframing, because a lot of times I don't really enjoy the process of eating. Like, I just eat because I'm supposed to eat. And that is like long-term goal is finding joy in eating. But short-term goal is reframing the fact that food is there to nourish me and strengthen me. So basically I'm gonna have to like say something or write it down before every meal and after every meal, just kind of reframe, like create like neural pathways in my brain connecting positivity to food, which I do like that. Like, I like that it will be doing that. And then maintaining my food schedule, which is, like I've talked to you guys about, it's pretty regimented, eating like every certain number of hours. And that's really just like my goals for this next week. But anyway, I have a few packages out there. I am working with Hatch, not for this video, for a video on TikTok. I'm so excited. You guys know I love my Hatch so much. So I think my Hatch just got delivered, and then my Grüns vitamins just got delivered. I'm obsessed with Grüns vitamins. They sent me, I've used their products before, but they sent me this flavor last month that was their, it was like a fall flavor. It was Granny Smith apple or something like that. It was so freaking good. And Seth, literally, we had to share the vitamins because he loved them. So I ran out of them in like 15 days. So I just ordered another pack, and unfortunately I think the Granny Smith apple is like sold out, so it's just the original, but I'm gonna go grab those, and I need to take my vitamins for the day. Anyway, I already took my calcium and my vitamin D, but I'm trying to take a multivitamin every day. I've taken multiple multivitamins throughout the years, like multiple brands, I mean, but most of the time I stick with Ritual. I love Ritual's prenatal vitamin. And I've taken that in the past just because I think it's good as a female who's not on contraceptive to be on a prenatal vitamin, just in case. So I do like Ritual's prenatal. I do like Grüns. And then I also have liked, what is the brand? I can't remember it. It is Parallel, I think it's called. I like all of their vitamins. So anyway, I'm taking Grüns right now because I'm not worried about getting pregnant right now. So I'm gonna grab those. My Grüns package is here, but I also got a package, like a PR package from L'Oreal, so I thought we could open that together. Oh, good. I ordered 2 of these, one for me and one for Seth. This is what they look like. This is not sponsored at all. I know a lot of influencers work with them. I think I do have a code that will get you some money off, so I'll put it on the screen, but this is not sponsored. I just do really like these. They're vegan, they're gummies. It's like fun to take your vitamins. My husband loves it, I love it, and there's a bunch of vitamins in here, and there's also a bunch of B vitamins, which is good for me as a vegan. So or as a plant-based girly, which I know I've been getting a lot of questions on social media about, am I going to continue to be plant-based now that, you know, I've been told I have low bone density? And I've talked to my dietitian about it, and at this point, yes, because I feel like if my bone density comes from my restrictive eating, not from being vegan. So not eating too much of any type of diet is going to make you have health problems. So if I'm eating a healthy vegan diet and eating a vast amount of vegan foods that are rich in calcium and vitamin D and other nutrients, it's going to be fine. But if I'm not, then sure, like I might have to delineate from that. But as of right now, I cannot take that on mentally with like just eating more foods in general. So I hope that answers anybody's questions. Okay, they sent me a mascara. Cute. Oh, isn't this the mascara that like went viral a couple of years ago? Telescopic extensions. Love. Thank you, L'Oreal. Okay, I need to take my vitamins. All right, let's sit outside and do some reading. Good morning, you guys. It is Friday. I didn't vlog yesterday, mostly because I had a lot of anxiety yesterday, and I ended up working in the afternoon, and not the morning, and so I was just a little busy like getting my physical therapy exercises in before I went to work, and Seth was like helping me get ready for the day. But anyway, I'm working, today's Friday, I think I might have already said that, but I'm working from 9 to, I think my last one is at 2:45, and I have the busiest day. I'm a little nervous about it. I have a patient every 30 minutes until maybe like 12:30, and then at 12:30 I blocked out an hour time so that I can like put my foot up. I brought some ice packs, and then I have a few more after that, and I'll hopefully like be okay. Yesterday I was totally fine until my last couple patients of the day. One of my 5 o'clock was a patient that she's also a nurse practitioner, and I really just love her, and so we spent a lot of time talking and like talking about the injury and how it happened, and so my leg was really dependent for a while. And then the next patient after her was a new patient, and she like gets she passes out with needles. She didn't pass out yesterday, but she definitely felt like she was going to, so I was like helping get ice and Gatorade and all that stuff. And then after that I was done, but I needed to like count up the talks and do inventory, and then I had to drive home, which was like 40 minutes. So that was like a really long span of time for my leg to not be propped up, because usually I can prop it up in between patients and it's totally fine. Like, it's not a big deal. If I can prop it up for 15 minutes and then get to the next one, I'm good. But I think my leg was dependent for like 2 hours, and I could barely get inside my house. Just like, my leg gets so heavy, like it feels like 1,000,000 pounds. And I'm also starting to get some of my nerve endings back in my incision site. So like my incision site for the past 3.5 weeks has been pretty numb, which is normal. There's a bunch of nerves that get cut. Obviously you have to cut through the skin, the fascia, the nerves, the muscle layers, all of that type of thing. So I've been really numb there and haven't really had a ton of pain at the incision site. But now that like I'm getting my feeling back there, I definitely notice that I'm having more incision site pain. But anyway, I got up really early this morning at like 6:30 so that I could be here by 9, because my first one starts at 9, and it's like 8:30 right now, but I need time to like get my talks together and then hopefully prop my leg up before my first patient. So it's 8:30 right now. Seth helped me pack my breakfast and my lunch, and he's just so amazing. My ice, my pillows, like it just helps me get ready, and I really am so thankful for Seth. But anyway, hopefully we're gonna have a good day, make some money, which is so nice. But hopefully everything goes smoothly, and I will check in with you guys afterwards. It's a gorgeous day here in Tampa Bay. We made it, you guys. We made it, and I did a chemical peel in between. I put a break of an hour, because I think I told you guys this morning my schedule was so busy, and I was like, there's got to be a period in time where I can put my leg up and ice it. And so during that time I got a chemical peel by one of our estheticians, Chelsea. I have done chemical peels before. If you guys have been following this channel for a while, you guys have seen me do them, but I want to say the last one that I did was probably like 3 years or so ago. But they do really, really good for me and my skin. I have like melasma on my upper lip, I have sunspots, large pores, that type of thing, and chemical peels are amazing for that. So this is the perfect Derma chemical peel. That's why I look orange. And yeah, I'll start peeling probably on Sunday or Monday. Sometimes I have like a delayed peeling response, so maybe Monday, but I'm excited. So this is the before, and then I don't know if you guys will see the after in this vlog, because I'm going to try to edit this vlog and get it up before Sunday so that we're back on like my every Sunday routine. But we made it back home. I was going to stop and get myself a Starbucks, but it was just, the traffic was like too crazy. But today was a really good day. Everything went as smoothly as it possibly could. I had time in between patients to put my leg up, so like I'm really happy with it. And I'm excited now to go inside and rest for a little bit.